Now at 10, authorities in Fort Scott think they've identified the cause of a church fire. Plus, it's the first day of legal sports betting in Kansas and how a local book club is teaching people about the Civil War.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
A Pittsburgh man is dead after a late-night crash. This is KOAM News at 10. Authorities say 21-year-old Caden Anderson was traveling south on 200th Street near Atkinson Municipal Airport when his vehicle left the road, struck a culvert, and overturned. He died at the scene. Investigators think they now know the cause and the cost of the fire that swept through the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames to the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. Even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation does plan to rebuild. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
And we have some lightning out there tonight with some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. Clouds rolled in during the afternoon hours. Prior to it, we hit 90, normal highs 87, record high 105, set back in 2000. Look at the scattered showers, even some thunderstorms across the region. None of these too strong or severe, but just moderate, good old summertime thunderstorms, especially once you get in southwestern Missouri. We've had some clusters kind of sitting over the same area. But if we go ahead, zoom in just a little bit, we have one cluster just to the south of Parsons and Labette County, and then these scattered showers and thunderstorms, Mount Vernon, Monette, Cassville, and then stretching all the way back into northeastern Oklahoma. So we are going to have these scattered thunderstorms sticking around, in fact, increasing a bit as we work through the overnight hours for us tonight. The big question is, will these be out of here by the holiday weekend? We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you then. A new Missouri law outlawing books with sexually explicit images from school libraries is now in effect. It's now a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $2,000 fine for librarians and other educators to give students access to such material. There are exceptions for anatomy, biology, sex education, art, and other images considered educational. Sports betting officially became legal in Kansas today. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. City of Pittsburgh is building new housing. New jobs in southeast Kansas could mean a continuing population growth over the next few years. City plans to build 1,500 houses in town. Officials say it's not uncommon that people who work in Pittsburgh actually live elsewhere because of a lack of housing. But one thing slowing the builders down is the lack of contractors.
It's a huge demand, and the problem is the same problem that every industry has in the United States right now, is just a lack of workers. If we could get more contractors to this area, we will keep everybody busy.
According to the city manager, the current plan has about 450 houses that have been either platted or planned. Some Pittsburgh high school students are working to transform a downtown building. That group is called Launch, and they're working on a project called The Spot. It's aimed at replacing a dilapidated building at 5th and Walnut into a mixed-use green space that could host events. Pitt State is helping the students by giving them training on professionalism and pitching ideas.
With what we call boot camp, and so the first couple of weeks of school we are bringing in guest speakers, talking to them about professionalism, attire, how to make professional presentations, how to interact with adults, and just a full scope of things. It helps to raise their confidence a little bit before they go out into the workplace.
Throughout the planning process, students in the group have worked with community and business leaders as well as PSU construction management students. The Parsons Land Bank held a meeting today to formally accept a piece of property into the land bank. That property is at 1621 Chess Avenue. There's currently a dilapidated house on it that's been foreclosed. Parsons Director of Economic Development says it's time for the property to be put to good use.
just some ability to be rebuilt. It's our first piece of property that we think that we're going to issue an RFQ, request for qualifications, where people can turn in proposals. We're going to look for assistance from our sister city, Pittsburgh. They have a great land bank over there. So we look at them to kind of help us. There's some application processes that we want to mirror what the city of Pittsburgh is doing with their very successful land bank, with ours being so new.
Zaleski says members of the community can now submit proposals to buy the property. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is dedicating a night to discuss the memoir of the first black nurse in the Civil War. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Fort Scott Book Club wants the community to learn more about history through the power of learning.
So we have a plan for 6 months for this one. So we have books through December. So it's the first Thursday of every month at 6:30 right here at the fort.
The book club meets to discuss the designated book of the month. This month's read is the memoir of the first black nurse during the Civil War.
Tonight's book is specifically about African-American nurse and her story working with a USCT regiment, which might not be Kansas specific, but we had the USCTs, the US colored troops here, also had nursing here as well, and female nursing, so I felt it made a good connection.
This book club does not just read about different time periods, but they're actually handling the tools that Nurse Susie Taylor used during the Civil War.
When I first picked it up and started reading it, before I knew it, I was 40 pages into it. It was an easy read, and it was a fascinating read.
After looking at the medical tools from the Civil War era, if Barry was a wounded soldier, he'll react like this.
It's like, give me something to put me to sleep before you start operating on me.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Next month's book is about the travels of a Kansas soldier during the Civil War era. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College partners with the Community Crisis Center in Miami. This month is the launch of their Are You Safe campaign on campus. Victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking will now be able to speak confidentially with an advocate on campus, chat online, or call their 24-hour hotline.
We have offices in 3 counties, Ottawa, Delaware, and Craig. Here in Miami, we have an office that students can come to 8 to 5. We also provide 24/7 sexual assault response to Integris Miami and Integris Grove hospitals. And we have a 24/7 emergency shelter.
If you're interested in becoming an advocate or you need to reach out to one, you can go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, President Biden and a top House Republican give dueling speeches about the state of the country, plus what a new Labor Department report shows about the jobs market. President Biden delivered a speech tonight that the White House described as the continued battle for the soul of the nation. Republicans say he's not focused on the more important issues. Reporter Christina Ruffini has the latest now from Washington.
President Biden took aim at what the White House calls the extreme wing of the Republican Party during a primetime speech at Philadelphia's Independence Hall.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
President Biden says former President Trump's hardline supporters pose a threat to American democracy and asked traditional Republicans to condemn violent rhetoric.
History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
Speaking in the president's hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy said Mr. Biden is trying to distract Americans from other issues like the economy.
Washington and the White House aren't listening. They just don't get it.
A new CBS News poll found 7 out of 10 Americans believe democracy and the rule of law are under threat. That's about the same as in the days following the January 6th attack. On Thursday, former NYPD Detective Thomas Webster was sentenced to 10 years in prison for assaulting police during the riot at the Capitol. Former President Trump told the Wendy Bell radio show that he will pardon the rioters if he's reelected.
If I decide to run and if I win, I will be looking very, very strongly about pardons.
On Friday, former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone is expected to appear before the federal grand jury investigating January 6th. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Washington.
Former Deputy White House counsel Pat Philbin is also expected to appear before the grand jury. Google is revealing how it'll combat misinformation ahead of the midterm elections. As part of that effort, the tech giant said it plans to launch a new tool in the coming weeks that highlights local and regional journalism about campaigns and races. Searches for how to vote in both English and Spanish will soon return highlighted information sourced from state election officials. The information will include important dates and deadlines based on user location. Despite recession fears, employers do not appear to be handing out pink slips. Today's jobs report shows jobless claims have fallen to the lowest level in 2 months. According to the Labor Department, in the week ending August 27th, 232,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits for the first time. That's a drop of 5,000 from the previous week, which was revised downward by 6,000. A new study links ultra-processed foods to an increased risk of colon cancer in men. Ultra-processed foods can include ready-to-eat meat like sausages, bacon, and ham, sugary drinks. Researchers at Tufts found higher consumption of these foods increased men's risk for colon cancer by 29%. The study did not show a similar impact for women. A little bit later, how a local school district is using a special vending machine to get kids more engaged in learning.
Plus, scattered showers and thunderstorms continue tonight. Those details coming up. Well, it turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Of course, we had the clouds increase during the evening hours and then scattered showers and thunderstorms. Thankfully, most of these stayed out of Pittsburgh and Joplin, where, of course, we had college football games that were going on, but we are going to see those showers and thunderstorms increasing through the overnight hours tonight. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. All right, look at the scattered thunderstorms. Most of these not too strong, just moderate to good old summertime storms. Some of them have been dropping some heavy amounts of rain, some very small hail, and some wind gusts 30, 35 miles per hour. But if we go ahead and zoom in a bit, you can see these are increasing now from Stockton Lake through southwestern Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, even in southeastern Kansas. So let's take a little tour. Let's zoom in. So here's the metro, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Neosho to Carthage to Miami. And these are pretty spotty, so we're not seeing a whole bunch of action in the immediate area. A little farther west, Lebec County, here's just south of Parsons to Oswego, moderate thunderstorms, some thunder and lightning. Down into northeastern Oklahoma, here's Miami, 44 southwest, toward Veneta, down toward Grand Lake, scattered showers, thunderstorms, increasing in Benton County, northwestern Arkansas, and a little bit stronger once you get just east of Neosho. Again, these aren't too strong or severe. Eastern parts of McDonald County, northern parts of Berry County has picked up a lot of rain because these storms have been sitting on them for a couple hours now, and then north near Mount Vernon just to the west of Springfield. But these are going to continue to increase just a bit as we go through the rest of the evening hours. We need the rain. Look at our drought tracker. Still an extreme drought on the Kansas and Oklahoma side. Southwest Missouri is rapidly improved over the past couple weeks, but we obviously still need the rain. Most of us sitting into the mid to upper 70s. Looks okay right now at 7th and range line. As this little wave passes by, behind it, we'll get some pretty good weather as we head into the holiday weekend. But this is just a weak little upper level wave that is kind of passing through. All right, let's break it down hour by hour. Let's go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's stop at 3 o'clock in the morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. It looks like most of them along the I-44 corridor and south. Here's 6 a.m., most of them in southwestern Missouri at this time. We are going to have showers on and off throughout the morning hours, but majority of them are going to be on the Missouri side. Let's go to about midday. Still scattered showers and thunderstorms. Western counties, plenty of sunshine. You're looking pretty good. As we go into the afternoon, these slowly advance east, and I think by 7 p.m., most of us are going to clear out, and we look pretty good for high school football. All right, 67 to start, 77 by noon, 84 by 5 p.m., a high temp of 85. Rain will slowly decrease throughout the afternoon. If you look at our 3 categories, we kind of sit in, yeah, it's going to rain category through the overnight hours. By morning, we start to drop off, and then it's fairly low as we head into the holiday weekend. 85 tomorrow, random shower early Saturday. Most of Saturday looks good. Sunday looks good. Labor Day, maybe an isolated thunderstorm very late, but the bulk of the holiday weekend looks great. Partly sunny, high temps near 90 for the unofficial end of summertime already.
I'm ready for fall.
Are you?
Bring it on, official or not. I want fall to be.
Well, meteorological wise, it is fall starting today. So
Thank
there you go.
Wish granted.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Thanks, Douglas. Little learners in one McDonald County school are getting a different kind of treat when they hit the vending machine. Students of Knoll Primary School now have a choice of books in their new vending machine, thanks to a donation from the McDonald County School Foundation. Students with good behavior will earn a gold coin which can be used to purchase a book from the machine. The school librarian says this shows kids that the little things matter.
Our kids don't always get to recognize that even the small things that they do, the small growth that they make is important and that it matters. And so getting the opportunity to show them that, and that in doing that and showing them that the small things matter, the small growths matter, also getting to give them books that they can keep at home to grow their libraries at home.
Granger says she's excited to see the machine enhance children's learning experience. Still ahead, it's opening night for Pitt State and Missouri Southern football. And Carl Junction hits the field for a rivalry matchup against Webb City. Jacob Leonard has all those highlights and more up next.
Well, tonight is a big night of football in Southeast Kansas and Southwest Missouri. We have both local high school and college action this evening. We'll start in Pittsburgh. Game 1 of the season for the Gorillas. Pitt State welcomes in Central Missouri tonight. Bryce Murphy, great night. Late first quarter, Chad Dotson finds Murphy. 33-yard gain for the Neosho High School product. Second quarter now, PSU down 3-0. But Dotson goes back to Murphy. He hauls in the 27-yard touchdown. Gorillas have their first lead at 7-3. Later in the second, Mules have fourth down in PSU territory. Webb City kid Alex Gaskill there to make the play on the fourth down. Gorillas get the stop in the offense. Would capitalize. Dodson to guess who? 53 yards to Bryce Murphy. Murphy 112 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half alone. Pitt State goes to the break up 14-3. Their defense really good all night. Look at this. Dubin Mokonkwo blasts the quarterback, ball out. Mules recover, but the Gorillas held them down most of the night. Pitt State wins their season opener 21-10. The Missouri Southern Lions are also at home tonight for their season opener. Southern has a tough one to open their schedule, hosting the 14th ranked Nebraska Kearney Lopers. Now the Lions trying to get the offense going a little bit tonight after getting shut out in this matchup last season. UNK inside the 10, Jackson Montrez runs it in for the score, 7-0 Lopers. Now later, UNK pinned deep in their end. Dylan Bolden picks off TJ Davis. Huge play. Lions take over with great field position, and they would make the most of it. Quarterback Dawson Hurl keeps it, takes it in for the touchdown. It's actually his first career rushing touchdown. We are tied. Lions defense holding things down. Coleman Booker, former East Newton Patriot, gets to Davis for the sack. Then with just seconds left in the first half, Southern comes up with a goal line stop. They were within 3, 10-7 at halftime. But the Lopers pull away in the second half to top Missouri Southern 24-7. At the high school level, tonight is a big night for Carl Junction. The Bulldogs play their home opener this evening, and it's a rivalry game hosting the Webb City Cardinals. CJ aims for a 2-0 start tonight, while Webb City trying to bounce back from a loss to Nixa in week 1. Starting things out, first quarter, Carl Junction ball, but it gets loose. Webb City's Connor Gaiman there for the recovery. Cards get the turnover just a few minutes in. Moments later, quarterback Landon Johnson keeps it for Webb City, breaks a few tackles. Johnson in for the score. Webb City goes up 6-0 with that. Now to the second, Cardinals force another turnover. This time it's Grayson Smith with the interception. It's actually the third turnover of the night for Carl Junction. So Webb City ball, Dante Washington, you know he's a playmaker. Look at this, weaves in and out of defenders. Washington all the way in for the touchdown. This one all Webb City all night. Cardinals roll by Carl Junction 47-7. Finally, Major League Baseball, the Kansas City Royals aim for the series win in the finale against the White Sox tonight. The Royals, not a lot of offense. They fall 7-1. MJ Melendez had the lone RBI of the night for the Royals. Kansas City's right back on the field tomorrow night on the road against the Tigers. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Homer Dobkins served in the U.S. Navy in 1962 and 63. His hometown, Columbus, Kansas, and we salute Seaman Homer Dobkins, a four-state hero. NASA's newest telescope has captured its first image ever of a planet outside our solar system. These are known as exoplanets, and this one is named HIP 65426b because, it's catchy. It's what's known as a gas giant, has 6 to 12 times the mass of Jupiter, which is also a gas giant. The planet is also an interstellar baby, relatively speaking, at only 5 to 20 million years old. That is a baby. Earth is around 4.5 billion years. The James Webb Space Telescope captured the 4 images you see at the bottom. We have known about these exoplanets for a while. We've detected them through other means, but we've never actually been able to photograph one.
Well, because it's so young, maybe that's why they named it HIP.
Oh, that's it.
Definitely.
I think so.
Yeah.
HIP number beat. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Number.
Yeah.
Hey, give us some numbers we like for the forecast.
I will. Mid-80s tomorrow. We are going to have scattered thunderstorms in the morning, but Leonard, good news. These should be out of here for high school football tomorrow evening.
As long as it cools it off a little bit, that's what I'm after. Chad Dotson, sophomore quarterback for Pittsburgh State, 387 yards, 3 touchdowns tonight. Not bad for his first start of the season.
Not bad at all. Thanks for joining us. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.